It's beefy, baby.
Hey.
My name is Luke Hodson.
Alex Morrison.
Hey.
You ready? I'm ready.
It's a movie podcast.
Hey.
Let's get it.
Hey.
Grease-soaked mess.
It's a movie podcast.
Hey. Rated PG-13. Hey.
Your mom didn't make that casserole.
Beef.
Well, you soggy beefers. Welcome once again to the Bucket of Beef show. Your hopefully favorite movie podcast. Hopefully, realistically, not your least favorite. My name is Luke Hodson.
My name is Alex Morrison.
I've decided that Alex and I are fighting today.
Okay.
So we're going to make this a spicy
I understand
meatball in the bucket of beef bucket.
Shut up, bitch. Anyway.
Oh, come on.
Welcome to the 12th episode.
Alex is mad because I moved his laptop before we recorded.
He knows that I have to have my laptop on me so that we know the cast and the synopses and the year the movie came out.
Who am I? I wish Rum was here so she could tell us who I'm being right
He's
now.
being himself.
No,
It's like it's just reading the Luke Hodson book. It
Oh,
goes,
man.
wah.
I'd feel bad for anyone that had to delve into a book that I'd written. I think it'd be just like in the theme song. It'd be a grease-soaked mess.
No, it would be okay.
Okay.
It would be like once when I was a little lad. That's
once-
how I would
I
start.
once wrote a French children's book whose English translation was Tim the Tiny Turkey in high school. It was the only all-nighter I ever pulled
Really?
in high school.
In all of high school?
Yeah, it was to write this fucking French picture book. It took so long.
That's crazy.
Like, I've got, like, Microsoft clip art for all the turkeys and stuff.
And this was for a project.
Yeah,
And you got an A on it?
I did get an
presumably?
A on it. I think I got a 96.
Why didn't you get the full 100?
Because I accidentally used the word, like, from instead of by at the beginning. Like, when I was like, by Luke Hodson, it, like, translated to from Luke Hodson or of Luke Hodson. I can't remember
What
exactly
a
what it was.
fucking noob.
Yeah, but it was a cute tale. It was, Tim the Tiny Turkey.
Love it. All right, well, we have an episode for you guys today.
We do.
Thank you guys
Who
for...
would have thought we'd
Who
have
would
an
have
episode?
thought? Wow. We watched 2 movies. Definitely, these are 2 fully animated.
This was our animated episode.
Yeah. And they were. It's kind of fun that it's different, and it's great that considering the last episode, and we are a family friendly podcast.
Yeah.
That we can make the jump from 50 Shades of Grey to Minions and Howl's Moving Castle.
There you go. I mean, families are primarily comprised of adults. In the grand
All
scheme
the
of
time.
things, right? Like if when you're talking about like extended family,
I feel like you're
They're
trying
like
to
aunts and uncles
You're
and
trying to pull
grandparents.
something out of me, and it's just not going to happen.
I don't know what I'm even trying to pull.
Do you know adults
honestly,
or children once? Did you have any idea of that?
Yeah,
of
and
course you did.
and children will one day be adults.
Yeah,
I don't know what this argument is.
You know what?
I don't even know what my stance is in this argument.
screw you, dude.
I'm just saying.
God.
It's effortless.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook at The Bucket of Beef Show. You can follow us on Patreon, where you will get exclusive voting power on what we watch next, early access to our newest episodes, and reviews of horror movies, and access to our Last of Us review series.
Yes. If you're not a patron, what are you doing? Hop on.
Yeah, what are you doing? It's
$4
$4
a month. Come on. If you ever see me in real life, I'll get you a slice of pizza
Yeah,
for your trouble.
and yeah, just yeah.
Like a grape soda or an orange crush.
An Orange Crush sounds
Yeah,
fantastic.
not like I'm not going to do a Sprite or a Coke. I'll do a Dr. Pepper because Alex likes Dr.
I
Pepper.
fucking love Dr.
But
Pepper.
I'm only going to give slightly exotic beverages.
Yeah.
you know?
Also, Luke's recently started liking Diet Coke,
Yeah, Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi.
which is that's just your age is showing.
I'm in my middle-aged era.
It really scares
I'm in my
me.
I'm in my skinny uncle era. I'm in my uncle with body dysmorphia.
Oh no,
Eon.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you want to do the synopsis for Howl's Moving Castle, or do you want me to try?
I think Alex,
Jesus
as in you,
Christ.
should do the synopsis for Howl's Moving Castle.
This is so hard.
You can feel free to pull up a synopsis online. Just make sure that you credit it if you're feeling afraid.
I'm not gonna be afraid. I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet. Mm-hmm. Okay. This girl Sophie works at a hat store, and there's this guy Howl who has a castle, and it has chicken legs. And one fateful day, she's getting hassled by some local law enforcement, And Howl comes and is like, "Oh, guess what? You're in the thick of it now, girl." And then they fly away, and she's like, "Oh no, Howl's gonna eat my heart," because I guess that's a rumor around the town. But the whole deal is the wicked witch of the, what is it? The Waste?
The Western Wastes, I
Yeah,
think.
the Western
The
Waste
Wicked Witch of the West.
the Waste of Witches. Essentially puts a spell on her that makes her an old lady. So she's trying to turn the spell back, but get some friends along the way inside of Howl's moving castle.
And there's a war happening.
Oh yeah, there's like a war that's killing everyone. I forgot about that.
It's a truly terrifying war.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Lots of bird people.
Yeah, there are a lot of bird people. Like
It's-
weird goop
It includes
men.
wizards and witches, and all of the ships are just crazy,
Yeah.
loaded with guns and turrets and cannons. Yeah,
And they're very good at burning things.
very good at burning things.
Yeah.
And I told Luke one of them looks like the big worm monsters in the first Avengers movie, which is
They do.
I feel like
They
the
do look
Avengers
like
mildly
the
stole from
Jatari whale guys.
them. Yeah, the Chitauri
Oh,
whales.
it feels like so many things were stolen from Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah,
Like a lot, you know?
how he's basically the Hulk.
I guess he's sort of the Hulk.
He turns into a big monster.
Yeah.
And he can't really help when or how it happens, and he uses it for war.
Well, when he uses his powers, then it doesn't like accidentally turn into the bird.
Yeah, but
He just has a hard time turning back from the bird.
well, that's his secret, though, is that
He's always birdie.
yeah, yeah, he's always birdie. Okay, so this was my first studio. Is it Ghibli?
Yeah, Studio Ghibli.
It's my first Studio Ghibli film, and
Really?
Roma. Yeah,
Nice.
Roma has tried to get me to watch this a couple of times, and it's just so beautiful, and the music is incredible.
That's like one of my favorite things about Studio Ghibli films is just like the soaring score.
Yeah,
Like it's just so full of wonderment, and it
It's
like
such
brings
a
you back to
pure
being a
aesthetic,
child.
yeah.
When you watch a Studio Ghibli film, you know.
Yeah, no, it was so nice. And all of the set pieces were really beautiful, and all of the characters were, like, really unique. And, like, I fell in love with everyone. There's not a single soul in this movie I didn't absolutely fall in love with. Yeah.
Every character. Did you have a favorite character? You think?
Yeah, I think the fire was my favorite character.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then also...
What was his name again?
Oh, my goodness.
I want to say Lucifer, but
Calcifer.
it's not Calcifer.
Calcifer. Yeah, Calcifer is just the homie. He can't go anywhere, and he's just a little shit talker.
And he's so afraid of being put out.
Yeah, he's like, please, please, please.
I like how he's literally just like Stardust.
Yeah.
Basically.
Mm-hmm. It's so cute.
Yeah.
I like him, and the little boy, of course, is just he has everyone's hearts.
Yeah.
But I think my second favorite character is the dog. It's the little
The
dog.
dog's good. Yeah. I like the dog.
Yeah. So
Who do you like more, Sophie or Howl?
Sophie.
I like Sophie. more,
Sophie,
too.
yeah. Sophie is just an automatic problem solver. She's like,
Yeah.
I have solutions for everything, and everyone's like, no,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Once she got turned into that old lady, she had like no fear.
Yeah,
She was completely without fear.
yeah.
And I like how she kind of ended up being like a half young lady, half old lady with her cool new bob.
With her cool new bob, ready
Yeah.
to take on the world.
Yeah.
I also, oh my goodness, oh no, I pulled up the character list and it's the Japanese names and now, okay. Markle, Hin, Hasho.
We also did, we watched this with the English dub.
We did.
Because it was the first thing that came up when we just pulled it up on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. What's your, I'm going to start a little fight. You prefer English dubs.
I do, sometimes. Actually, no, that's a lie, I do.
The English
I do.
dub for this was good.
Yeah.
The English dub for this was very good. Because they had like Christian Bale and like a bunch of other like
My whole thing,
top tier people.
My whole thing with it is that I just don't like subtitles in general. Like I get way too pulled out of something if I'm constantly having to read. And even if it is in English, like the whole thing and there are subtitles, it's like I can't focus on the image on the screen and also reading because I have tunnel vision. It's not great.
That's fair. I prefer the original with subtitles.
Yeah.
In basically everything I ever watch. Because I don't mind subtitles. I guess my brain's just different, you know?
You trying to say your brain is better than my brain?
I didn't say that. I'm just trying to...
Listen,
I said this is going to be our
Luke just
fight
gave me
episode.
the smarmiest little smirk when he said that. And he's... You know, this is why we need cameras
No
on
one
this
will
podcast.
believe you.
Yeah, exactly,
It's not
because no one
recorded.
will believe me.
I'm just a
This is
sweet... I'm a
ridiculous.
sweet little old guy.
Why are you
actually,
lying?
I actually also got cursed by the Witch of the Western Waste.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
okay,
86 right now, actually.
do you want to give us a little bit of story and stuff?
A little
you
bit of
wanna-
story. We'll just
Yeah.
move bit by bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
there's a lot that happens.
Sophie gets cursed by the witch. We also know that she does have a younger sister who's like the pretty popular one who works at this bake shop. And I don't know if her mom owns it or her mom is like some sort of like wealthy merchant class lady in this world. What did you think about the world? Just the way that they designed everything and like...
It was so cool because we said what it was like industrialist, like Victorian.
Yeah, it was like the Victorian era like happened, and then the culture didn't change, and they just like kept advancing the technology.
Yeah,
You know?
and it also seemed with like the warships, they were like harboring a lot of different like nations with the flags and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So that was really
It's
cool.
like League of Nations vibes,
Yeah.
kind of.
This is one of the very rare types of like fantasy worlds. I'm like, oh, this would be cool to live in.
Yeah, and it was really cool with, I just loved all the architecture, how it was just like a complete mixture of like every, like, kind of European design.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And even like, I mean, you expect all that, and then like you read Howl's Moving Castle, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be cool. And then you see the castle, and you're like, this is the jankiest thing in like this entire movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's like a odd little story.
And it
plot
makes
point.
sense because it was literally like birthed from the mind of a child,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Because Howl lost his heart when he was a wee boy.
But even then, I mean, it's like it doesn't have to be this pretty grand thing for it to be a home for so many misfits and things like
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Like that's really neat. That's a cool little idea.
Yeah.
But go ahead, continue.
Okay, so she ends up getting cursed by the Witch of the Waste.
Miss Thick.
Miss Thick.
Miss
Is that what you're calling her?
Thick.
Yeah. She's a big girl, for sure. And she's like, what am I gonna do? I'm all old. I like it when she's in her room and her mom's trying to get, and she's like, I'm sick.
And her mom's like, you sound like a 90-year-old woman right now.
and she's like strangely exactly on the mark. You know? And yeah, and then she goes out into the wilds. She meets, honestly, probably one of my favorite characters. Like, this character was just a joy, like, every time they appeared on the screen, because you just didn't know when it was going to come, which was the Scarecrow guy.
Turnip Man.
Turnip Man. I loved Turnip Man. And I just loved the way that, like, Sophie's dialogue is just so good.
Yeah.
She's just, like, so, like, go get him, and, like...
She has like a fierceness. It's like a
yeah,
fierceness.
she's like the most gentle, brutally honest person I've ever seen depicted in a television medium. Like, she's so sweet, but she's like so like fucking.
Yeah.
She's like, my way is the right way, and she's always right. Like, she literally never made a mistake, even when you think that she's making a big mistake.
Yeah. It's so funny because Turnip Man, like, if you've seen this is Luke's like favorite type of character in general. I can't explain it. I've never been able to, but I saw that guy. I was like, that is going to be Luke's favorite character. It just has to.
I think because I am Turnip Man.
Why do you think you're Turnip Man?
I just feel like I'd be a Turnip Man. Like, I would get cursed and turn into a scarecrow, and I'd just be like helpful. You know what I mean?
Well, I can't
and
do
like not
anything,
really
which-
ask for a lot, just like hopping around. You know what I mean?
So selfless, this boy.
It worked out for him in the end. He got turned back into the Crown Prince. So
Yeah,
listen,
but he got
kindness
kissed
goes
by
a
his
long
true
way.
love, and then she's like, never mind, I guess. Like,
That was funny. That was funny.
he's like, I guess I can just stop the war then.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Maybe it just means that Sophie and Howl are polyamorous.
Could be.
Maybe they'd be a really fucking good thruple.
Yes, 100%. I totally agree.
They would actually be a killer thruple, I think.
And the Wicked Witch of the Waste will try to get in there, and they'll be like,
No.
no, Wicked Witch of Waste, you not join this.
She's like the crazy aunt. I like the Wicked Witch of the Waste has like such an interesting character arc in this. What was your first impression of the castle when she got there? Because like she's walking, she's old, It's taking her a lot longer to get to where the castle is than she thought it was going to. And she honestly accidentally
I
finds
was
the
like
castle.
so concerned because she's like really moving to try to catch it, and I'm like, you're gonna really hurt yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
but she has the spirit of a young lady.
yeah. Which a lot of that, just to like, sorry to take like an odd tangent, but like a lot, like it confused me in the times that she was able to like go back to being younger. Like, do you have an idea
That's fair.
of that?
I think it was like when like self-doubt entered in is when she would turn more heavily into an old lady.
Okay.
I think is what it felt like to me.
Because it wasn't like fear-based. It wasn't like... Because when she slept, she like turned completely
Yeah, I think
back.
it was like self-deprecating thoughts that turned her into an old lady, kind of. Or like hopelessness. Like when she gave up hope on whatever she was doing and she was just like resigned and defeated, that's when she was an old lady.
Interesting.
You know?
It's kind of cool that the Witch of the Waste like gave her that like alibi to like kind of sidestep it. You know, like to sidestep the
to
curse.
kind of be, yeah. And I do like that the movie like never tells you why that's happening. It just is happening, and you just get to appreciate it. I'm sure that people have done much more like essay style discussions on this that are much more
Much more what?
yeah, exactly, much more coherent than what I'm saying.
Much more coherent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah. But okay.
I'm doing my best.
Going back into the castle though, it's like when she gets in, it's a fixer-upper, and I was like, when she said she was going to clean, I was like, please, clean
Yeah,
this
and
motherfucker.
all of the fucking, I would say like the most pleasing animated scenes in this film were when she was scrubbing and when her and Howl were making bacon and eggs.
Oh yeah,
Like that shit looked so good, and like the goopiness of the eggs and like how. He's like cracking the eggs off and feeding Calcifer
it's so good.
The little the shells. I love them all. It's all just like so warm and feel good. It's like you're in a dream.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing just feels like you're in a childhood dream.
Yeah.
You know, because there's like some kind of spooky, like illustrative elements, and like you don't know exactly who you can trust, but at the end of the day, the group of heroes is gonna be okay. And they're they're gonna live their lives, you know,
and that's very true.
It's
and
very storybook.
It's very storybook, but at the same
tale.
time, it is like you have to think about this. You know what I mean when you watch it? Because I mean, if I was a kid, I'd be like, wait, why?
Yeah,
But I appreciate like the aspects like her going back into Howl's like childhood and seeing like the moment Calcifer was like, I guess, birthed.
Yeah,
And kind of having to understand like the bits of magic and like the rules around it, because there are rules. Someone is trying to take away other people's magic. So yeah, that's all I got. Did you have like a least favorite moment in this?
a least favorite moment. I got so mad at the Witch of the Waste when she was smoking that cigar. That the what was her name? The head wizard.
Solomon. Madam Solomon?
Yeah, when Madam Solomon, like, sent... I would say the most, like, morally... the two most, like, morally corrupt people in this film are probably the Witch of the Waste and Sophie's mom.
Oh, fuck Sophie's mom,
because Sophie's
dude.
mom goes back to try to get Sophie to go with her. I'm guessing they're doing it to try to, like, lure...
Howl out?
Lure Howl out. And also to try to put out... Calcifer. I keep wanting to call him Halcifer because it's closer to Howl. I also kept thinking that everyone was calling Howl Hal in this.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, most morally corrupt that hasn't been like cursed by magic and losing their heart is Honey, which is Sophie's mom. Because she's just kind of like doing whatever. Maybe she's being a patriot. Maybe she thinks she's serving the king well, you know?
No, man, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And I also like how this whole war was like kind of a game for the head wizard, for Suleiman. Mm-hmm. Like when she ends up not being able to get Hal and like turn him back into a I don't know what he would turn into. Would he turn into a bird thing? Would he just get turned back into a normal boy?
I think he gets turned into the bird thing.
She would turn him into the bird thing.
I think so.
Yeah. And it's funny at the end how she's kind of like, this little game is over. Like, it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
You know? Do you think that she turned the prince into that scarecrow to start the war?
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
She wants that power.
Yeah.
She wants some sweet, sweet magic.
Well, it seems like what she's doing is she's, like, taking all the powers from the other wizards and, like, turning them into these things that she can use for her own power.
Yeah.
And she's absurdly powerful. Like, when she just makes the ocean.
Yeah.
Like...
like, whoa.
And she does have that killer chair. And she has all of those, like, identical child servants.
Which,
I can't really tell.
Yeah, because, so would she be the mother of Prince Turnip?
No, she wouldn't be. Prince Turnip was from the rival kingdom. And that's why they had the war.
Okay, because I thought those little boy servants were just him as a child.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they just happened to be like... Because originally it was kind of confusing because Howl disguises himself as the king, and then the actual king shows up.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. So I think that, like, plants the seed of, like, oh, maybe these other people are, like, clones somehow. But,
sure.
And they're, like, all identical, so maybe she's, like, just cloned this, like, little boy. And they all look kind of surprisingly like young Howl.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe she wants to turn Howl into a little servant boy or something. We don't totally know.
Grody.
Yeah. Yeah. So we see the castle. She cleans everything up. Where should we go from after this? Because we're kind of like running around.
Well, so I want to talk about Markle.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Because he's the only one we haven't talked about. And honestly, Luke says I'm like the dog in this. I'm like the little dog.
You're also like Markle and Calcifer. You're honestly like most of the characters. Most of the characters in this have aspects of your personality.
Yeah, you think
like
so?
Even the Witch of the Waste.
Oh no! You give me
not so much the Witch of the Waste, but
you do give me Markle though.
Yeah, I could
Markle's
definitely be
one.
Markle.
Because I definitely would see you waddling up to the door and being like, "Excuse me,"
dude.
And
I
pull
would
out my big long beard and you're like,
dude, I would love to be the front man for Howl's Magic Shop. Are you kidding me? I would love to be a little page boy for a magician, for an actual wizard.
You'd be like, "Stand by."
Yeah, exactly.
Open the door.
Yeah, I'd serve Gandalf. I'd be Lukey the Pale.
Luke would be so good at it. He would just be the best.
Dude, I would brew so many potions and package so many little envelopes for boats to sail well.
That is such a.
I also love like the convenience of magic in this world.
Yeah,
like there's so many curses, but it's also like, isn't it so nice that if you want to like go on a journey somewhere, you can just go to the magic shop and just be like, hey, can I get a powder for my sails so I'll sail perfectly to where I want to go? You know?
And you're like, yeah, all right, cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's
God,
good.
I want that so bad.
A little powder for your sails.
What would you take? You go to the magic shop right now. You really need something. What is it? What is the thing you need?
Oh, what do I need?
What do you need?
Oh, man. I would just get like a luck stone to like just get super lucky with everything.
Yeah.
You know?
I would
up my, because I feel like my base standard luck, I've talked to you about this before. Mm-hmm. I feel like my base standard luck is probably like a 6 out of 10. Like, I feel like I am a pretty lucky person, generally. But if I could bump that to a solid 9.7 at all times and just like skate on through,
damn,
I wouldn't hate that, you know?
Yeah.
And then I have that 0.3 where I'd still feel like, oh man, I really am living like a down on my luck life. And then, like, I stumble across, like, a pile of gold bars that someone's giving away for free. And I'm like, oh, wow.
Someone's casually giving away gold bars.
I'm so good at living life. I'm so great at it. But really, it's just my magic fairy dust luck sprinkled on me.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I'd
pick like the big old luck, a little, like, luck sprinkles. I have to eat a cupcake every day with the sprinkles on it.
Going.
Yeah, to keep the luck. Exactly.
I would want a quarter that, like, I can flip into the water and it turns into my dream yacht. That's all I want.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that way I can just carry it around with me in my pocket and I can just waddle around and then people are like, hey, you look like you don't have a fucking yacht. And I'm like, check this out. Heads or tails, bitch. Doink.
Damn.
And then a big yacht. That
would crush a child that was swimming in the water.
Yeah.
Then you get locked up.
Every fish dies immediately.
And then I would get lucky because they meant to put it in the lockup, but they accidentally just shipped it to my address. And then I would have your coin.
No.
Yep.
No.
And I'd send you luck cupcakes while you were in prison.
Well, then I hope they get me out.
No, you'd get out.
Yeah.
There'd be like a guard that would like trip. and they would accidentally unlock it, and then they would keep tripping as they like carried you out. And they're like,
I'm just
I
kinda
don't
walking
know what.
behind them.
Like, oh, and they're like apologizing because they
can't stop falling.
they feel really bad about being a klutz. They're like, oh,
Oops, sorry.
yeah. And then the guard's just too embarrassed to tell everybody that he accidentally let you out.
God.
That's my favorite scene of Howl's Moving Castle.
So the last half of this goes crazy, especially when like the bombings start happening.
Yeah,
in the town.
They do a really good job of really juxtaposing the absolute horror of this war with like the idyllic cleanliness of the cities and everything like that, which I thought was funny with the cities because there's just so much smog and smoke, but the water's like pure and the grass is green and the flowers are out. I guess maybe the wizards are just able to counteract pollution in their world. Maybe it could make sense.
I mean, I'm sure there are one or two of them that's like, can we just please keep the flowers fucking good,
Yeah.
the grass green? Like, I'm sure there are a couple. I don't know how many wizards and witches there are in this world, but
seems like a pretty decent amount.
yeah, seems like they really wouldn't need a war, but like, you know, with
But
like
when the
big
crown
man
when
machines.
the crown prince goes missing, man, you gotta kill some civilians for it. You know.
Jeez Louise. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a little dark.
Listen, that's what their ideas clearly were. I never saw, like, warriors fighting. I only ever saw fucking fire bombs going down in
I guess,
in London,
yeah.
England.
Yeah. So cool, man. Do you have lasting thoughts on this? I really don't know how to even attack a lot of this.
It's just really idyllic. It's really fun. The story is wistful yet simple. Mm-hmm. You know, and things just kind of fall into place. It's like a nice walk through a garden. There's hummingbirds but there's like a little bobcat in the corner, and you're like, what's that bobcat gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's always like the notion that something is going to happen.
Yeah, and they set up like the Witch of the Waste as like a potential like constant looming threat, and then she just happens to go to the castle with Sophie because Howl's too afraid to go on his own, and I think he knows that it's a trap too, and he's just like not really letting it on. And then they just turn her into a really, really, really old lady.
Yeah.
And then she's like kind of neutralizes the
legitimately
threat.
senile.
Yeah. I mean, she's kind of a threat when she tries to get Calcifer, when she figures out that Calcifer literally is Howl's heart. Mm-hmm. But it ends up not really meaning much. Yeah. You know? It just kind of fucks up their walking castle.
But it is. It's like it's the fight for a man's heart.
It is.
And sometimes when you work too hard, it burns out. And sometimes all it takes is just nurturement and let it roam free.
Yeah. It really turned the Witch of the Waste into kind of like a sweaty
bag,
a sweaty simpy bag.
That's me. I'm the sweaty simpy
No,
bag.
you're not.
That's me.
No.
I simp so hard.
Don't tell them that.
Someone's
gonna
think it's about them.
Yeah,
Be like,
dude.
no.
Someone's gonna get you, or they're gonna try to trick you into simping for them.
No way.
It's gonna happen.
It's too difficult. I don't simp. I lied.
Okay.
Never have ever.
So what's your score for this film? Sorry for the rambliness of this
yeah,
one,
this
you
one's
guys,
been
but
weird.
this one's just a general vibe.
Okay, I will give it an 8 out of 10. Which has kind of been the realm of things I've been the score I've been giving a lot of things recently, but I think this is very legit. Very legit.
You hear that? It's very legit, you guys.
God, don't do this to me. I'm giving
I'm
my
sorry.
score.
I'm sorry.
Don't mess with a man's score.
I'm being a bully.
Yeah, he's rubbing my back now.
I know, because
it's the first time he's ever done that. Okay, well, thanks for fixing my collar. Yeah, chills.
He had a tag sticking out.
Okay, yeah, 8 out of 10. The aesthetic is awesome. It is legit. And
Too legit to quit.
Too legit to quit. And the characters are all just, I mean, yeah, like I said, first thing I said, you just fall in love with everyone, every character in this. Yeah.
Does that mean it's my turn?
Yeah, that means it's your turn.
I'm going to give it an 8.5. Maybe higher, but I said 8.5 and now I have to stick with it. It's just so wistful and fun and filled with childhood wonder. Yeah, I think the only other Studio Ghibli film I've ever seen is Spirited Away, and that one feels much more of like it obviously has similar qualities to Howl's Moving Castle, but it feels much more sinister. I think, yeah, Howl's Moving Castle is just like a great twist on sort of the idea of a fairy tale.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very charming, and all the characters are good in their own way and are like struggling through their own things, and they are able to bind together and find community and camaraderie despite being outcasts, you know? And I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 8.5 for me for Howl's Moving Castle. What would you give it for your beef score, Alex?
For my beef score, oh, bless you, Mr. Blisterface.
I know I sneezed. Blisterface?
Yeah,
Why am I Blisterface?
Mr. Blisterface.
What does that mean?
That's what,
You got bad skin?
no, it's a nickname.
That's why we don't film this, because I have horrible skin. It's peeling off like when the Witch of the Waste tried to walk up those stairs.
Damn, that was sad. Okay, this one for me is just, It's a steak salad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Al fresca?
Al fresco, yeah. It's just, this is one of the leaner movies we've watched where I felt very light watching it. And I quite enjoyed that. Also, I want to say I have seen a Studio Ghibli movie, and it was Ponyo, and I love Ponyo. Just making sure it was one. Have you ever seen Ponyo?
I've never seen Ponyo.
Oh, it's so cute. Okay, but yeah, that's
What's
fine.
Ponyo about?
Ponyo is like, it's about this little fish girl.
Oh, I know the poster.
Yeah. Because I was like, man, I remember this because this was really popular.
Yeah, I remember.
Ah.
I know, that's me. That's me. I can't change who I am, folks. I'm just here.
Listen, he wanted to fight. I'm gonna bully him a little bit.
I'm gonna give this a It's like a brisket to me.
Damn.
It's like a nice brisket. It's like a pound of brisket and some like coleslaw and like a fresh watermelon salad. It's just like a summer day. It's like a little potluck. Some people brought out some like rosé cider bottles, and everyone's just having a good time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on this. I would highly recommend watching it. I feel like most people I know have seen Howl's Moving Castle, and I'm kind of the odd man out.
I feel like I was too. Like I mean, Roma literally was like, "How have you not seen it?" I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you ready to leave Howl's Moving Castle? Strolling on down the wastes.
Yes.
The wastes.
To another sort of Eurocentric vibe of the movie. We'll tell you what it is soon, you guys.
Yeah. For now, we're gonna go to commercial break.
In 3, 2, 1. Commercial break.
That was like a film rolling.
Oh, that's what that was supposed to be.
I was supposed. Yeah. I hope that it makes sense, like in the post.
Yeah. No, I completely understood what it was, and I did not require your you telling me what it was.
All right, Luke. What do you want, man?
No, what do you want?
No, what do you want?
We're fighting this time.
Yeah, we are fighting.
No,
I'll tell you exactly what I want.
what do you want,
I want some boxing gloves that say...
Oh, man.
That like, one of...
Are they Everlast boxing gloves, or are they some other brand?
They're Alex brand boxing gloves.
Do they just say Alex
They
on
say
them?
Alex, and then, but like, on the knuckles, it says...
Your enemy's name?
It says, sorry about, and then the other one says,
Nothing.
your face, comma, Luke.
That's a lot of words on that.
Yeah, it is.
Damn. And they're only made for people that want to beat the shit out of people named Luke?
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty niche market. Because from what I know, basically every Luke is a charmer, and you'd never want to fight them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just in my experience.
All right, go ahead
as
with
a
yours,
Luke.
man. Let's go. Nobody wants to fight you.
Yeah, so mine is for professional professional mediation service. So you ever having a fight with your buddy and they're so mad at you and they've been filled with such rage and their character has been corrupted so much that they want to design a complete boxing
Which one?
affiliated company that's dedicated specifically to annihilating your race, the race of Luke. So you need a professional mediator to sit that guy down and say, listen, you've done some bad. He's done a little worse, but you guys got to figure this out. And don't worry, you'll pay me $52, and it's settled.
So a $52 mediation service.
Yes, called Me Mediating You. That's what it's called. Me mediating you. I want another M in there somewhere, but I can't figure out where to
Me,
put
myself, and mediating you.
Oh, it could just be.
mediating
It could just
myself
be.
and
It
you.
could just be me, myself, and mediation.
Okay.
It could be. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's it.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay. Boxing gloves and mediation. That's what we're going for today.
Perfect.
Okay.
And we're going back to the other movie that we haven't said what it is yet. In 3, 2, 1. Ow! Oh, dude, why'd you do that?
God, I had to.
He hit me with one of his boxing gloves.
It hurt really bad, I'm sure.
Oh,
I hit
man,
him
it
with
really
the right
did.
one that says, sorry, comma, Luke.
My right eyeball's bleeding. I can't even say eyeball anymore. You hear that eyeball?
Eyeball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
It's not going to hurt no mo.
Yeah, thankfully. Thank God. I got a cold steak to put over my eye.
Yeah. All right, gang. We're in Minion Land.
We're
doing
in
Minions
Minion
circa
Land. If you guys
2015.
didn't know, you guys voted for Minions on this one. Who was it? Was it the patrons or was it the normal
It was
listeners?
the patrons.
The patrons.
The patrons.
Listen, normie listeners, if you guys want to seize control from the patrons,
These guys are fucking menacing.
these guys are on a tear, dude. We've got 50 Shades and Minions
I wish that
for
was
the
just
past
one episode.
for the past 2 days. You can't let them get away with this. But we do love you, patrons, and we're very glad to be watching whatever you want us to do.
Absolutely.
I sim for the patrons.
I also simp for the patrons.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
So you're doing the fucking synopsis for Minions.
The
on
synopsis
this
for
one, my guy.
Minions. The Minions are about a bunch of yellow guys with a bunch of different names. They are minions. They really like guys that are bad, but unfortunately, they are really good at pissing off their masters and almost always killing them. The story starts with a wonderful narration depicting the minions from their sort of amoeba roots at the dawn of man, onto them skipping out on Napoleon and thankfully avoiding having to work for any of the fascists.
Yeah.
during
He went and hid in a cave.
during the era of World War II and the Cold War. Are they going to be able to find a new master? Will they eat bananas? Are they any good at their job? Is this a movie? Let's talk about it.
This is not a movie.
I was talking to Alex while we were watching this. What did we watch this yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we watched this. I guess for you guys, this is going to be coming out on Monday for the patrons and Wednesday for everyone else. We watched this on Thursday, right?
Friday.
On Friday. We watched this on Friday. And we were like halfway or 2/3 through this movie. And I said to Alex, this doesn't really feel like a movie. This just feels like things that are happening. Like this very much, and in a good way. I mean, Minions is entertaining, but I wouldn't call it a film. Minions is basically if you took like 12 writers, just gave them a bag and said, okay, this happens, and then another person says, what if this happens? And then another person says, what if that happened? And then another person says, what if Bob became King Arthur? And then that's the movie.
And then another writer's like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
and
like,
then that's the movie. And then they got Sandra Bullock to hop on.
God. Okay, so we deal with Kevin, Bob, and Stuart.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite one of the three?
I like Bob.
Yeah, I thought you'd like Bob.
Bob is so cute.
Who do you think I like?
You like Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin's my
Yeah,
favorite.
you know, see,
Kevin's
it's
for
easy
sure
to
my
tell
favorite.
Luke's favorite characters and things. This is so, because now when I think of these characters, like, there's a point when Bob looks in a bunch of mirrors and is like, oh my god, I'm like a living thing.
Yeah, he like hasn't self-actualized ever.
And then he becomes the king of England?
Yes. Let's rewind really quick.
Sorry.
Let's rewind. So the movie starts basically the end of their narration. They're in like an Arctic cave because they accidentally shoot Napoleon with a cannon, and then they get exiled, and then thankfully they never have to work for a fascist. Even though, like, given the Minions' MO, they would probably do some heinous shit for
Stalin,
Hitler, Pol Pot.
Yeah.
Maybe could swing them around, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. But they avoid the fascists. They're having a great time in this ice cave, and then eventually they get sad because they're without a direction. I think Minions is actually capitalist propaganda for the virtue of near slave labor at the hands of a wealthy benefactor. benefactor in air quotes.
Yeah.
I think we cracked the code on Minions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So they're trapped in this ice cave. None of them know what to do. And then eventually, the bravest minion of them all, by the name of Kevin, the Minion, he says, I'm going to put a stop to this. I'm going to go out of this cave. I'm going to find a new bad guy. All the fascists are gone, right?
there are no more
fascists anymore.
And we're going straight to New York City.
And we're going straight to New York City,
Circa
baby.
1968.
He gets Stuart to come along with him. Stuart's kind of like a playboy guitarist, you know?
He's like, whatever, I don't really want to be here.
Stuart's the hottest, most aloof minion.
He plays the guitar.
Yeah.
He should have a beanie.
He could have a beanie. Yeah. Surprised they didn't do anything like that. And then the big dummy Bob, who just likes bananas and having fun.
The sweet baby boy Bob.
Yeah. Bob is really cute. Bob's a nice guy. Yeah. And he has a little teddy bear. Yeah. How can he not love that? You know?
Yeah. So then they figure out they're sleeping in a mall.
Yeah. They get to New York somehow, and then somehow
and
they skip like all of Europe. They just literally sail from the Arctic Ocean. Like they bypass Greenland. They miss out on Newfoundland. They somehow skip Maine. They go down the entire East Coast. They bypass all of New England, and then they end up
smack dab in Manhattan.
Yes.
So they stay at this mall,
and it's 1968.
Yes,
but the Minions are untouched by like social justice. The era of social justice. They just kind of like skim over all of that.
No, they are protesting in
when.
They're hanging out with the hippies because Bob has a poster that says something like "Booyah" or something like that. Oh
yeah, they do have an anti-war. They do go to the anti-war protest.
Yeah, that
is true.
Yeah. So they're at this mall and they discover that there's a secret TV network, and it's called the Villain Con, where all the villains go, and everyone's like, "Oh, this chick Scarlet Overkill is like the villain." So they're like,
and she's the first female villain ever. There has never been a bad woman up until Scarlet Overkill.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So they're like, we got to get there, and they hitchhike, and they get in the car with this like family of rob. Which that part was actually very
probably
funny.
My favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, they're like a normal.
They
family.
basically get in with Phil and Claire from Modern Family, but their kids are like the Addams Family kids. Kind of. Just the Pugsley kid.
Yeah. And then they, like, pull up to a gas station. They're like, all right, we're going to stretch our legs.
It's actually a bank.
Sorry. Well, yeah. Well, you think that they're pulling up to a gas station.
Yeah, that's true.
And, like, they're like, okay, if you want to stretch your legs. And they all put on ski masks and go inside and rob a bank. And the minions are like, oh, cool. This is neat. And, of course, the fucking Villain Con is in Florida.
Is in Orlando, Florida. Could have been in Jacksonville, but, you know.
Could have been in Tampa.
It could have been in Tampa.
I wish it was in Tampa.
Or Tallahassee or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shout out to all the people listening from Florida. We love you guys.
Yeah. All right. Well.
I'm going to rewind really quick. I just want to give a shout out to the mask of the dad of the villain family. Because he has a big ass nose in the animation. And he has a really floppy, like really long sock for his nose. And I just really like the animation. It seems like they had fun animating this.
Yeah.
I hope. I imagine working on the Minions movie as an animator is probably either like fun and goofy or like the most depressing thing that you can possibly do. And I'm hoping that it's the really fun thing.
I feel like it depends because there are so many properties with the Minions in them.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
I feel like you got to be burned out working on the Minions, right?
Like, I think there are at least 5 or 6 movies.
Which I did not know. I just thought there was Minions and Minions Rise of Gru.
Yeah.
You know?
And then there's Despicable Me, Despicable Me 2. And then, yeah, dude, there's a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
But anyway. So we go to Villain Con. Scarlet is like, oh, I'm looking for some Minions. Not those Minions, but she's looking for them. Goons, I guess.
Some goons, some goblins, some grouches.
And Bob has the diamond she is, like, wagering as, like, her...
Yeah, they have this really fun kind of, like, fight sequence where she's like, all you gotta do is take this diamond, bitch. And everyone storms the stage. They're trying to get her. She's beating the shit out of everybody.
Everyone.
It was a Dumo the Sumo.
Yeah.
He keeps catching a lot of bad breaks in this movie.
Yeah, poor Dumo.
He just gets the shit beat out of him. And he eats people. Isn't that what he does?
Yeah, he ate his last Minions or whatever.
Yeah, they kind of skim over that.
Yeah.
You know?
Then there's the fish guy.
Yeah, the Shape of Water guy.
Yeah.
He's definitely supposed to be based off of the Shape of Water guy.
Yeah.
There's no way he's not.
He's the
No
only
way.
fish person that's
Yeah.
ever existed.
But he looks just like the Shape of Water guy, kinda.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
he could be based on like Old Greg. You ever seen the Old Greg YouTube videos?
No, but
Oh
I mean-
man! Shout out to everyone that's ever seen Old Greg. Shout out to Sam Mead for showing me Old Greg back in high school. If anyone ever wants to look up something absolutely crazy, look up Old Greg.
Old Greg.
Old Greg Fishman. Anyway, so they get the diamond. She ends up taking them to her hideout. Where's her hideout, Alex?
Where the fuck is her hideout? That's a good question. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
She's in jolly old England, in London.
Well, I know she's in London. I didn't realize. I knew she was in London. I guess I didn't realize where the hideout was, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know where in London. I just know it's in London.
Oh, well, he
She has
just said
this-
where is her hideout. Yeah. I mean, what?
I tried to give you a layup.
You can try to give me a layup.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was a pass, maybe.
Okay, I guess I had a bad arc on it.
Well, because then her boyfriend, they're like really in love, and he's like such a '70s doucher.
Yeah, Herb Overkill.
Herb Overkill.
I do like Herb though. Herb's a douchebag, but he means well.
Yeah, I
you know what I
guess
mean.
so,
Like
yeah.
Herb seems like the kind of guy who like pretends to be nice and then is like a total dick.
Yeah.
But Herb actually just is kind of just aloof and nice.
Yeah.
You know.
And the whole goal, Scarlett explains it, is like, I want the queen's crown so that I can be queen, which is how that works, I think.
Yeah, which is what she wanted to be as a child.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and
Well, she wants the crown, and then eventually she's going to overthrow.
well, I guess
the government.
Yeah, but what kind of bugged me is she's like, "Okay, guys, go get it," and I'm like, "Well, you're not the greatest villain in the world if you're sending other people to fucking do
But I think
it."
it's kind of a test for them. She's like, "You'll actually be my minions if you steal this crown."
I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I think. Well, no, because the whole hiring process happened with the diamond.
No, I know, but then she kind of lies. She's like, "You'll actually be my minions if you steal this crown."
No, because she tells the story where she's like, "You will if you disappoint mommy, you will die."
Oh, that's what it is. She's going to kill them if they don't take the crown.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. You're right.
And at the same time while all this is happening, fucking Sasquatches of the Arctic are like, the minions there are like, "Oh my god, like we found more masters." And they're just Bigfoot people, and they're having the time of their lives over there. And, what happened? They kill one of the Bigfoot?
Yeah, they actually
Kill one of
knock
the
like
big
a
feet?
giant icicle from the ceiling when they're doing a dance
And
for
kill
him.
one.
Yeah, and they kill the dad.
So now they're like, "Okay, I guess we gotta go
They
find..."
commit regicide.
Like, we have to go find Bob, Kevin, and Stuart.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. So, also, one thing we didn't talk about, though, is their voices. Like, the
Yeah.
minions' voices.
Uh-huh.
Because I told Luke, I was like, this is why they're so popular worldwide, because they are using so many different types of languages just very sporadically in their speech.
Yeah, I like how they always say "que paso,"
¿Qué pasó?
like always.
Banana!
Yeah,
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, I really appreciated that, because I was trying to look it up. Like, okay, how are they using the voice? Like, how are they creating this?
yeah, and so they're that is a good question. It's the same guy that voices all of these. I'm imagining they pitch his voice up or something for it, but who knows?
Pierre Coffin.
We'll have to look it up. So they go to steal the crown. They do get the crown, but then they end up being chased by all of the policemen in London.
Yeah.
And then this gets to, I think, might be my favorite part of the movie. It's just above the crime family for me, which is when Bob pulls the sword out of the stone that's just sitting at a park for fun. Like, they all have these really cool weapons and tech that Herb makes for them. And I think Herb is definitely an arms dealer.
Oh yeah,
Like, there's no way he isn't, like, dealing to both sides of the Cold War
100%.
situation. That's for sure how he got his money. But so Bob pulls a sword from the stone, and then he becomes king. And then he's like, "Oh no, but I want Scarlet to be queen. How do I do that?" And they're like, "There are
goes to
rules. You can't
court.
do that." And then he goes to court,
And overthrows the rules.
overthrows, he usurps them through the law, through the courts, through his sheer charisma. You know?
Because Scarlett was so pissed, and then she's like, "Oh, well, never mind."
But she still is pissed. She still secretly is pissed.
Secretly pissed, yes.
Yeah. What does she do to the minions after they make her
That
queen?
part is good. That part is good. She like gives them a tour of the palace, and they're like walking around, and then she kicks them into a dungeon where Herb is waiting there with like a black mask in this big torture chamber, and like it's so funny. Because, like, Herb is like, I'm gonna... And then they start taking Polaroids. They're having the time of their lives, like, playing with all of the torture devices. He's like, stop jumping around. They're, like, trying to hang themselves, and they can't because they're just tubes.
And then they torture him for fun, and he has a great time.
Yeah, dude, you can't torture them. They're immortal. They're just unstoppable...
Yeah, they're unstoppable.
Creatures of...
Yeah. They could beat Darkseid if he attacked.
I'm convinced they could, for real, beat the roaches.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. 100%.
Damn. Just on accident, they'd accidentally like knock over all of the pyramids, and then it would somehow kill all the roaches.
I'm convinced they could just crack Mars in half and just like,
damn,
you know what I mean?
And is like eat the core because it's made out of bananas.
Yeah, they're like, ¿Qué pasó? Banana,
banana. Yeah. Yeah. She becomes queen. She's like, fuck these minions. I'm gonna put them in a hole. And then what? They eventually they escape? Is that what happens? I can't even remember how they get out of it.
Yeah, because all the villains start chasing them.
Yeah, villains start chasing them. Bob gets shape of watered. Is it Bob that gets captured?
Into the water?
Yeah, he gets
I think
pulled.
that was Stuart.
Oh, Stuart. Yeah.
Obviously.
It's hard to tell the
difference
difference
like he didn't
sometimes.
even watch this movie.
Listen, Stuart, I sometimes can't tell because sometimes he has the guitar, sometimes he doesn't have the guitar.
You can't tell who is what because he's not holding the prop of the guitar.
I only really know Kevin because he's the cylindrical one. The other ones, like Bob and Stuart, look similar to me.
Stuart has one eye.
Oh,
Bob has two eyes.
That's what it is. I clearly didn't pay enough attention during this
So
film.
what were you looking at when you were looking at them? Were you just looking at their, like,
I'm actually not...
denim...
Yeah, I'm actually not a superficial person. So I was assessing each of them by the content of their character, and I didn't care how many eyes they did or didn't have.
Okay.
And that's the hill I'm dying on.
Okay.
I also liked that Queen Elizabeth could pound a pint, like no one's business.
Yeah, that was
in this,
cool.
yeah.
No.
She seemed pretty chill not being queen. Like,
oh yeah, she was having a blast. Yeah. So then Bob gets really big somehow.
yeah.
And all the other minions come to the rescue. And then I guess that's kind of the movie.
Bob eats a bomb.
Yeah, he eats a bomb.
I wanted him to explode and turn into like 1,000 little minions. Like one Kevin and one Bob.
Yeah.
It's Kevin that gets big, right?
Is it? Yeah, I think maybe.
It's Kevin.
Yes,
yeah.
it is. Yes, it is. Big boy. And he like catches Scarlet and Herb while they're trying to get away. The bomb is thrown. And I thought Scarlet and Herb died. And I was like, well, just kind of leave
It's
it
a
at
kid's
that.
movie. They can't die.
Yeah, they can. They can just explode and not come back.
That is true.
That's all I'm saying. And then
Kids movies don't like to kill villains anymore, though.
It's boring.
They don't really like to do it, though.
I mean, but like, that's life.
I guess.
Like expose them early. I think.
Yeah.
Just be like, this is the way the world works.
Yeah. So they recrown the queen.
Mm-hmm.
They like give it back to the queen somehow. Mm-hmm. Even though I guess by law Scarlet is still technically the queen. Don't know how they skirt that one exactly. I guess it's kind of a coup.
It is a coup.
Mm-hmm. And then the minions are like, "What are we gonna do?" Like, I'm like kind of sad. Like, we don't have a new master. And Scarlet tries to steal the crown again. Scarlet and Herb
and then they
come
get
back.
freeze blasted.
By who? How could that happen?
Who does freeze blast them?
Do you actually not remember?
I actually don't remember.
Really?
Oh, is it the person who takes the crown?
Yeah.
Oh, then it's baby Steve Carell, Baby Gru.
Baby Gru.
He's like, oh, I got the crown. We're gonna take the crown. And they're like, wow, it's a little boy with a scarf. He must be super evil. And he gets away with the crown jewels. And that's the ending of this one.
They live happily ever after.
Yeah, this movie. A lot of the jokes actually got me quite a bit. Like, we were definitely laughing.
It was
out
a
loud
fun
few
movie.
times,
Yeah.
But outside, I mean, it doesn't feel like a movie.
It's like candy. Yeah.
It is. It's like candy. You could jump in at any point during this movie and know exactly what's going on for the most part. You do not need any context whatsoever. Because it's not like you can really understand them anyway.
Exactly.
But also, kudos to that. Not being able to understand the characters the entire movie and still being... Sorry. So, it seems like everyone can understand them. Am I correct in saying that?
I think they understand, like, the general vibe of what they're saying. Well, like, when Bob was giving his coronation speech, no one knew what the fuck he was saying.
Yeah, I guess.
Until he said King Bob, and then everyone was like, oh my god, it's King Bob! Yeah!
But what if they did understand what he was saying, but what he was saying was not kosher?
Yeah, what if he was saying something, like, super, just horrible?
Vile, diabolical. I mean, it would make sense. It's the characters. The characters.
Yeah.
I don't
He was
know,
he was telling them all that he was gonna, like, since this is 1968, he's like, we need a Brexit. And they're all like, whoa.
Like,
no,
whoa,
they
calm
weren't
down.
ready for it yet.
Good God. All right, man. So that's Minions.
What would you give it?
You go first. I went first last time.
I give Minions a 6. I think it's very fun, but it's things that happen, you know? I think everyone that worked on this movie, I hope they had a blast. I think it is a very fun movie. I think it's probably a really... I'm sure that children especially would love this movie because it's just goofy and like fun and it doesn't take itself very seriously, and so for that it's good. But if I'm, you know, stacking it up against like something like Howl's Moving Castle, like I think even a 6 is honestly pretty high.
Yeah.
But just out of like the sheer enjoyment and you know, just the fun it seems that they had with this movie. I'll give it a 6. Yeah.
Cool. I will give this a 4.
Oh, damn. I should have given it lower, honestly. I kind of feel like I shouldn't have given it a 6, but I have to stick with it.
It's okay. If you want to change it, change it.
No, I can't.
Okay. Man of integrity. Yeah, 4 out of 10. I just, like, even, we watched it 2 days ago, maybe even yesterday, we watched it. I'm having trouble remembering the last half hour of it, to be honest with you. It's a very forgetful movie, but I mean, like, there were some funny moments, and literally, the jokes worked for me as an adult, so that's where my 4 is. That's where my 4 comes from. Also, it's cool that John Hamm and fucking Sandra Bullock and, who was the other guy who was in it? Michael Keaton were in it.
Who was Michael Keaton?
He was the dad.
Oh, Michael Keaton was the dad?
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, that's kind of where it's at. What's your beef score?
My beef score, it's a Happy Meal.
Sure.
You know, good for kids. Get a little toy. Get some processed little apple slices. Maybe a small fry. Milk, possibly.
Milk. Ugh.
Yeah. White milk.
Okay.
Not even the chocolate. And then you get like a 4-piece McNugget with no sauce.
No sauce?
Because they're a little kiddo.
Give some ketchup.
They don't like ketchup, though.
Yeah, okay.
They like it plain. It's a British child. They don't like seasoning.
Oh, okay. Okay. For me, this gets 2 White Castle sliders. Which just, you eat them and you're like, this is fine. And then an hour goes by and you're like, I'm going to absolutely shite myself. So yeah, that's where I'm leaving Minions. That's my lowest score on here so far, I think.
That definitely is.
Yeah, guys, that was the 12th episode of the Bucket of Beef Show. Again, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube at Bucket of Beef Show. And follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/Bucket of Beef Show.
Yes. And now we're going to do a little shout out for all of our beautiful patrons.
Yeah, we are. I'm so ready. I'm so prepared.
He is.
This is why I need my laptop out, Luke.
I know, and you do.
Shout out to Julia.
Shout out to Dwight.
Adam.
Shout out to other Julia.
Dina.
Shout out to Brittany.
Olga.
Rick.
Nicole.
Nikita.
Nicholas.
Nicholas.
You were about to say the last name.
I was about to say Nicholas's last name.
Can't do that.
I know, and I have stopped myself.
It's a newbie move.
I know. It's only episode 12. What can you do?
I guess so.
Yeah.
We are so early in this.
I know.
Just crazy. All right, guys. We'll see you on episode 13. Or we just watched Jeepers Creepers on the Patreon, so join us over there, too.
Yes. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Your support means the world to us. If you want to give us some additional support, feel free to hop over to patreon.com/Bucket of Beef Show. My name is Luke Hodson.
My name is Alex Morrison. We will see you on the flipped beef side. Listen to the outro. Ending of the pod.
He's a liar. He's a liar.
Beef.
Bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the bucket.
Bottom of the bucket.
Yeah.
Beef.
Seasoned to perfection.
Divine.
Too wet.
Beef.
It's a masterpiece, baby.
Beef.
Ew.